Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com. I'm going to take you for an e-bike ride. We're actually going to go fly the Mini 2 at two different locations. So this is going to be a little longer video than I make, but I'll give you some explanations as we go. So first of all, we're going to head west from where I just left my son's house, and we're going to go up to a place where I've gone before, into a little dirt lot. And we're going to film the completed car wash that I've taken several videos of. And then when we leave the car wash, we're going to go north and go through my old neighborhood and then go up to the my favorite flying park. We're going to take off from there, and then we'll film where the cement plant used to be, as well as the construction that's going on in that area. So one other thing, when I crashed my e-bike and dislocated my shoulder and wasn't able to ride for about 6 weeks, when I was finally able to get back on, I realized how much I missed it. So I'm really enjoying e-bikes more now than I did before, because I know what it's like to be without one. And so this is my first long trip. This turns out to be a 9-mile round trip ride, and I really enjoyed it. So we're going to go along here, and I'll tell you a few things about the bicycles that I've had. First of all, there's this thing I'm coming up to here, and I could have gone into it if I wasn't looking close. And that was where it kind of washed out there. That would have flipped me over. And then we're going to come up here where they're actually, right here, they're plowing away the edge of the road. Eventually, this is going to be a 4-lane road. And so this area down here that we're going to go down into, that is someday going to be the edge of the road. And then the little edge that you see here, that's going to be the beginning of the new housing development. So and by the way, down on this the part where they have plowed there, where I'm riding, that's as smooth as silk. I couldn't believe how smooth. I thought maybe my tires were getting low or something, because it was so smooth after riding on the rocks. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and we'll get started. Right now I'm headed up to the paved road, which it'll make it easier to go a little faster. And I just can't help but say how much I enjoy riding that e-bike of mine. By the way, my other bike, the one I got first, is for sale. I'll put a link to my email address if you're interested and you live in the Phoenix area. Making a really good deal on that first. It's a rad ROVER, and so if you're interested, send me an email. When we got up here, here you can see I'm using my handlebar camera, and then when I get up here, I switch to my hat cam. But I foolishly made a mistake and I accidentally turned off the rock steady stabilization that DJI builds into their to their camera, and so it's kind of jerky. But that's all I've got. This is the finished car wash that I've taken videos of before, and I'll put a link to a couple of those videos, and you can see there's no cars going through there, and there's cars parked here by the vacuum cleaners. But there's only one person working on his car right there. The other two may belong to employees, just to make it look like they got business, because they really don't have very good ratings in their reviews. So I don't know what they did wrong. But you can see that guy in the white shirt there. He's carrying a chair, because he's the guy that's supposed to spray the cars down and set it up for according to whatever they paid for. And there's nobody coming through. In fact, there was nobody coming through the whole time that I was in that little dirt lot and doing this filming. And the whole time I didn't hear a car go through there. And as I was leaving on my bike, I rode by there on my e-bike, and sure enough, there was a car entering where you see the arrows pointing toward us there, coming down there. A little black car was going in to get a car wash. So they're not extremely busy right now, just in case you want to go check it out. It's called Quick Quack Car Wash, and there's several of those around, but anyway, this one doesn't have much business right now. And so another thing, just up the road to the right, I filmed that car wash. It's fairly new, and so they've established a customer base. And I don't know if these guys will be able to make it or not. We'll find out. So anyway, back to my bicycle stories. Did I tell you my bicycle stories? No. When I was 6 years old, I got my first bicycle, and I was pretty short, and so I couldn't reach it. So my dad took the seat off and wrapped the towel around where the seat post would have gone, and that's what I rode for several years. And then when I was about 10 years old, I got a 3-speed English bike, and they were just becoming popular then. And so I rode that. In fact, I rode that bike until I got out of college. I rode it while I was going to college, and even anyway, while I was going to college. So now we're going to leave the car wash and go over to where they're making their new shopping center, and they're not building any buildings yet. They're just working on the parking areas. So anyway, so then when I graduated from college and we moved to Pasco, Washington, then at that point in time I bought myself I think it was a 10-speed bike, and that's about all they had back then. And I rode that for many, many, many years, and I put quite a few miles on it. Back then, by the way, I should mention that when I got my 10-speed bike, living in the Seattle area, my folks lived down by the SeaTac airport, and I rode that bike all the way up to, within a mile of the summit of Snoqualmie Pass from where we lived by the SeaTac airport. That took all day, but it was a fun trip. And then more than once, I left there and rode around Lake Washington, which is there in the Seattle area, and that only took 3 or 4 hours. As you can see, there's just not a whole lot going on to look at, but they bury those cylinders, and then there's a manhole cover on the top of the little pipe that sticks up, and when it rains really heavy, then the water runs off of the parking lot and fills those up and doesn't run out in the road and flood the place. And then they slowly leak so the water can go back into the ground. Well, anyway, so that I forgot to tell you about my first bike, or my first couple of bikes. So then when I graduated from college, I bought another, I think it was more than a 10-speed bike. Oh, by the way, now we're leaving the area after I filmed the first flight, and we're going to go up through my neighborhood, as you can see on the left here, and then we're going to go up to my favorite flying park and take off and look at where the old cement plant used to be. So that's what's making this quite a long video, is because I make 2 different flights. Now, as I come around here, there's a lady with an orange shirt, and she comes by, and we actually stopped and visited. I got off to the side and said hi to her and so forth. Good morning. And then we started visiting, and she wanted to know about all the cameras that I had, and I told her that I had a YouTube channel. Then I left there and came around the corner. This is the house that I lived in before, on our left here. That's the house we lived in before we moved out to my son's place. And so I wanted to go by and see if anything had changed, but it hasn't. Now we're getting up to the park, and this is where I'll take off, and we'll take a look at where the cement plant used to be. And I used to come to this park a lot, if you've been following my channel. Well, anyway, back to bicycles. I always had a bicycle, and have never been without one for all my married life anyway. And so when we moved to Arizona, I brought an old beat-up bicycle that a friend had given me. Now, if you look down here, you can see all the concrete blocks for parking lots and stuff. That area right there used to be the cement plant. I used to fly around there and make a lot of videos and watch them filling up the cement trucks and so forth. And so I just wanted to come back and see what things looked like. I had promised I wouldn't come back, but I decided I'd come back and look and see what it looked like. So anyway, when I moved us to Arizona, I brought an old beat-up, it was like a 16-speed bike or something, that I had gotten from a friend, and I rode it around a little bit. And then my neighbor across the street, here in the HOA, if you wanted to get rid of something, you just laid it out by the road. Well, he threw away his son's bike, and so I grabbed it and I fixed it up. And then his son was kind of mad at me because he saw me riding it, and I said, "Well, your dad was throwing it away." Of course, I had to put some new parts on it and everything to get it to work, but it worked really fine. And I brought that out to my son's house, and there's a picture of it there, leaning against the fence, because it's been sitting there ever since I got my e-bike. And so that was the last bike that I had that wasn't an e-bike. And now this is the cement plant had a great big hole in the ground where they dug up, the dirt to make the concrete and so forth. And then we're going to look up here and we're going to see the construction that's taken place to this. The cement plant part, where the hole is, I don't know what they're ever going to do with that. So anyway, I got my e-bike, and I've been riding my e-bike ever since. And like I said, I have one for sale because the first one I got was really too big for me. Like I say, I'm a short guy. So should be coming back sometime next year, or maybe in 6 months, depending on what it looks like. And we'll get some videos of all the houses that have been built here and all the changes that have been made to this little area right here where they're building houses. And I don't know, there's not a whole lot for me to... By the way, I don't drive anymore, so I have to ride my e-bike places. So there's not a whole lot for me to get shots of other than construction and things that happen. So here I am coming back from flying, and if you look down there real carefully, there's somebody walking on that path. And I don't know, I was busy flying the drone, but I'm thinking when I got through, I looked back behind me, which is further towards the top of the screen, and there was a lady with an orange shirt on, just a little bit heavy set. I want to say that, but anyway, and it looked just like the same lady. And I had told her I was coming to the park and flying my drone. Well, anyway, I want to thank you for watching my videos, and God bless.